Prog rock is so eclectic and it's fun and weird. It's all of those things.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. I'm here with my good friend. You know what? I used to say that about Chris all the time, and Andy and I have only known each other for 5 months. So, but Andy, I don't know. I think we're friends, right? Can I say we're good friends? When we're laughing and joking like that, we're good friends, right? Can I say it?
Sure, absolutely. The feeling's very much mutual.
All right, yeah. Watch when the camera goes off. Don't you ever call me a good friend again?
That SOB.
All right, here we go. So, of course, we're here because I give you songs, you give me songs, but this time I'm going to give you a song.
All right, what do we got?
I think I'm going to throw you off a little bit because I don't recall you talking about prog rock that much. We know that Phil is really big into that. And I am kind of in and out. I'm hit and miss with prog rock. So I'm going to throw you something. It's called, the band is Gentle Giant.
Okay, and I've heard of Gentle Giant. I've never listened to any of their music before. So because I am a modern prog fan, there are a lot of prog bands that, and prog, I guess, is sort of like, I come from it like you a bit, where it's like hit or miss with me. Sometimes it's just too much, and other times it's just so wonderfully eclectic and beautiful that I'm like, oh my God, I need more of this. One of my favorite bands is a prog band, and they've talked, I believe I've heard them talk about these guys, and I've heard these guys talked about in prog circles. So I'm interested to kind of see, outside of like Rush and Yes, like some of the other like maybe deeper cut prog bands from earlier on in the genre's existence. So this is cool. I'm down for it.
And what is that band that you're into?
You've actually, I think, done one or two of their tracks on this channel. It's the Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
Which is like a 5 or 6 man act that do a lot of like concept albums with the instrumentation and orchestration. So I like that when it hits for me, because there's something I've always found, like prog has this, some bands really tap into that like theatrical sound to their and presentation to their music, and that kind of draws me in because I like that whole the idea of music telling a story like one would do if they were writing a musical or something like that. So
okay,
I like that aspect.
You're kind of raising the bar, man. Now I'm like a little nervous. I'm like, oh man, I hope he likes this. So the advent of Panurge.
That is maybe the most prog title ever.
I think I'm saying that correctly, but who knows? I'm the mauler. I'm the well-known documented mauler of
Mauler.
I am. I maul. I change. I just.
I take a perfectly normal word and then I maul it.
So go check it out. I sent you the link, and come on back and let me know what you think.
Yeah, will do.
They're coming over Chariton Bridge. Look, do you see the man who is poor but rich? What do you wish and where do you go? Where'd you go? Where are you? Where you from? Will you tell me your name? Rest a while, call me your friend. Please stay with me, I'd like to help. Then he said, how can I speak when I'm dry? How can I speak when I'm dry? So bring me aid and I'll answer your dear friend in need. I'd like your help. Please take me home. I'll stay with you.
Prog rock is so eclectic and it's fun and weird. It's all of those things. I'm a big fan of Prague, so this is an interesting experience. Let's keep riding and see where this wave takes us.
Look at my friend, look around my friend. Look at my friend, look all round you. Look at my friend, take all round you. Look at my friend, look all round you. Hey, friend. Look at my friend. Was made as their bond. Carried him home and provided for his needs and his shelter. This day was done as no other than life. Faithfully their vow was made, and from that day they were as one.
Wow. That was an experience. What an amazing soundscape, and it was just like a sonic buffet of different movements and parts of the song. This isn't one of those that you just listen to and you're instantly like, ah, yes, I know the song now and I like it or I don't like. It's a lot to digest, and I want to revisit it because there were clearly parts of the song that I really enjoyed. I don't know if I can yet say I loved the totality of it because, again, it's just one of those things that you have to revisit and sort of kind of digest in bits. It's kind of like a snake eating its prey and how long it takes for it to actually consume it. And that's how my ears and brain are receiving the song. But I do like it. And God, they're clearly amazing musicians. So hats off to them. This is always fun.
Hey, man, what'd you think about that? Was it a ride?
Prague. That was Prague. Like, that's the definition. I I think I described it in the video of my reaction as the consumption of prog music is often like a python or a non-venomous snake, a constrictor, sort of taking in its prey. Like it's inch by inch, the digestion process is long, and that's what it's like listening to a prog song, because you don't just go, oh yeah, that was a 3-minute pop song and I loved it.
Yeah, right.
I don't need, done and dusted. This is layers and requires revisiting and
Yes.
kind of digging in deeper. You can't just listen to a prog song and with confidence say, oh, I fully absorbed that song. So needless to say, I'm going to revisit this. I have to. And I also feel like whatever I say in this discussion with you could be up for debate by me in a couple weeks time after listening to it
That's
more.
So interesting. Wow. What if, yeah, because you're right.
Especially when a song is this complex, you know what I mean? But I really loved the piano, like the hard hitting piano notes in it. Sort of the layered choral that was going on in there. That was fun, but
yes.
That was kind of like the thing where I'm like, all right, I'm going to put that to the side and try to focus on the music. But at points that delivery of the vocals was almost like another instrument, layered in the whole wonderful wave that was the song. But I loved the horns that would make appearances from now and again. That was terrific. I loved the bass, like the don't, and then we hit that off note, and that was just fun rhythmically. It was just a lot of fun, and just multifaceted, as all prog is. Like they take something and they it's like their goal is to make it more difficult. Which can either be, the siren song that makes it so enticing, or the thing that kind of turns you away from it. So which is, that's why prog's hit or miss for me. But this was a hit. It was interesting. I just don't know how big of a hit or to what magnitude the impact was, because I'm going to have to keep kind of letting it wash over me before I fully make an informed decision on it.
What's really interesting is that your first reaction to the song is way better than mine. So I actually listened.
What, did you hate it out of the gate or what?
I didn't hate it. I just didn't get it, and I didn't like it. I talk about how, my sons are playing the song, and then I drop everything. Oh my God, what is that? And I'm like, just drawn to it, and not this one. And so my son, Ryan, who loves prog, but was going through a big prog phase in his life, for like 2 years ago or so, and everything was prog, everything. And this came on, and I was like, it was just quirky. It was different, but it was like, it was definitely prog, but to me, it was saturated in prog. It was just this kind of weird, like beginning where look at my friend, da, 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 look at my friend, da, 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 da. And it was interesting, but I'm like, but it was kind of like, I was waiting for like a yes kind of, and then later on, then you get some of that later. Again, I'm thinking about the first reaction, and I don't know. I thought it was too, I don't know, zigzaggy, and I got thrown off, with the one of the turns and the really sharp turn, and I was in an open car. I was in that open sort of, like a Jeep or something, and I just got thrown off, in the dust and everything, and I'm like, brush myself, said, okay, I'm done. Well, my son, loves to impose on us with his music. He'll just crank it up on a speaker, the little kind of portable thing, and just walks around the house, I'm like, put headphones on. Yeah, so he walks around, and this song's on again. And it started growing on me. And then one time, he puts it on again, and he was actually in his room, and I was just like, I just started listening to him. I'm really liking the song. Like I really started getting drawn to it. And there's this part, and what's interesting too, I started like noticing, after that first minute or so, when he kind of does that really sort of soft, so look at my friend, and you had that little guitar that's like a little sort of soft jazz style guitar that kind of hitting those notes. I love that, right? And it's doing that throughout the song here and there. But then it gets into, all of a sudden, ba-boom, you would talk about it, ba-bum, and the bass, and the piano comes in. Then you got some organ or synth, whatever, or the keys and everything is kind of. That sounded so much like ELP to me.
That part reminded
Keith
that part
Emerson hitting the pianos and doing that.
Yeah.
And then Palmer hitting the drums. That sounded like that. I said, okay. And I started connecting for me. Go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I was just going to say that what I loved about the music in that part of the song was how it felt like the instruments were talking to each other.
Yes.
The rhythm is doing its thing. And it's like, take that piano. And then the piano is like, bow, bow, bow. It's like a dance between two different parts of the band. And I loved that back and forth.
Yeah.
And I just love the way the music felt like. Look, I didn't dig into the lyrics on this one because I'm like, that's a whole nother video probably, because all these prog songs, or a lot of them, are all these concept albums that tell one story over like 12 to 13 tracks or something like that, and it just get thrown into the middle of it is going to make no sense to me. So why, to the detriment of the song and to the audience, go into that right now? That's not what I'm trying to do. I really want to focus on the music with this tune. And I loved how, like, in my mind, even though I didn't know that portion, and it's something I will revisit and dig into when I go back to the song, is how the music felt like it was just as much telling a story as the words would have been. Because it's like, when you hear like any sort of atmospheric music, like in a horror film or anything that illustrates, suspense through music, a lot of that in the music, where it was like, this is telling a story. I know it has to be. I just have to revisit it and figure out what that story is. But there's a lot of really cool ambient, atmospheric, mood capturing sounds in the song. And that was like when I was like, all right, I know I like it. I do know I just don't know how much I like it.
Well, that's the thing. Again, your first reaction, you like it. My first reaction was like, no. But then I started becoming like drawn to the damn thing, to the point where I searched it out and I sat down one day and I just listened to it with my headphones on from beginning to end. And I was like, all right, I'm hooked. This is great. And, there's that part after they kind of get together and they do that sort of jam. And well, it is a jam. It's like a prog rock kind of jazz type of jam, and like you said, they're talking to each other. That's so descriptive. That's right on the money with that. And then there's that part where he then says, look at my friend again. And then it gets kind of like psychedelic a little bit, like experimental, where he starts stretching out friend, and it's like becomes like, and like echoes, reverberates kind of, and then it's like out there, and like
that's what I'm talking about.
Love
with
that.
The lyrics I knew. I was not listening to the lyrics, but the vocals, which is the voice, not the words that are coming out of the voice, became an instrument. Maybe a third of the way through the song, when I decided I'm listening to it for the words, I'm listening to it for the sound. And it was like one more layer to this crazy, wouldn't think is delicious, but is delicious layer cake. And I was like, all right, this is cool. I really like it. I'm probably where you were halfway through your journey right now. That's where I'm starting my journey. So, and which is, if that's prog, that's a pretty damn good start, because prog is something for a lot of people that has to grow on you, sort of like a non-pejorative fungus. Like there's just grow, and it's just great. It's good stuff.
British rock band, British prog band, but when you think about Jethro Tull, and so many great prog bands coming out of the UK. And 1970 to 1980. Actually, just really quick, because I did pull up the lyrics. I won't really get into lyrics so much, but there was this contributor on genius.com, and they said this song is inspired by French medieval author Francois Rabelais. I don't know if you know that.
Rabelais.
Rabelais, there you go. The Mola.
That's just a guess. I don't know if that's what it is or not, but I'm just
So he had this novel series called Gargantua and Pantagruel. And so it's a spiritual successor to Pantagruel's Nativity from Acquiring the Taste, which was also inspired by Gargantua and Pantagruel. So, and I know you're an English guy and you're well-versed in literature.
This is Greek?
Is Francois Rabelais?
No, that guy's French. But can you read the synopsis again for me, please, Craig?
Sure. So Rabelais, he wrote the series of novels Gargantua and Pantagruel, and so I think this song is a successor to Pantagruel's Nativity from Acquiring the Taste, which was also inspired by Gargantua and Pantagruel. So I don't know.
I think Gargantua and Pantagruel is Greek, if I'm not mistaken. But this is all hazy. But I am familiar with having heard of it. The what inspired the song I'm familiar with, but not very much outside of having heard of it. But this is so quintessential prog, though, like being inspired by some crazy epic from long ago, and then writing an entire album based on.
I know. There's this one line in the song. Then he said, "Fair Pantagruel, my name is Panurge, and I have come from hell." So that's actually one of the lyrics.
That's the one part that like lyrically kept standing out to me.
So there you go. Cool. All right, man. I'm glad. So this is an overall thumbs up from you?
Yes, it was. Yeah. It's definitely a thumbs up that I'm going to go back to. And I'm like 80% sure it's going to remain a thumbs up. So I'm glad you shared it. It's probably going to drill into my head for the next week or so and end up on my playlist. So
awesome. Good. Yeah. Check back with me when that happens. And then I'll let Ryan know. I think he'll be really happy.
Yeah. I'll let you know
that
that if I end up like you in the long run, fully adoring the song. So.
All right, cool. So out there, Gentle Giant fans who love this song. Yeah. What do you think about this reaction? What do you think about the song? I mean, well, if it's your favorite song, then but why? And what other songs out there from this progressive rock group should we check out? The next one. And in the meantime, we'll see every one of you on the next episode of Into the Music.